Well, good evening, everyone. Just trying to figure out why it's not loading the YouTube one. Oh, oh, there it is. All right. I think we got things squared away, sort of. We're running a little behind today. Finally decided not to rain today. So that meant lots of grass to mow, all that good happy-go-lucky stuff. This is going to be a very shallow hole for the boss. Somehow or another, I didn't mark this side. So we'll just get somewhere along the lines of a center mark. This is another way of finding center on something, is just put your dividers on the outside edge, draw an arc across in 4 directions, and then somewhere straight across there would be center. Thereabouts. Will get us in the ballpark. I'll adjust from there, but that would give us a central location, put it that way. I do have a center mark on the other side because the other side is where I drew the circle to actually cut it on the bandsaw. But, what did I say? This is going to be the top. So a little something there, a little bit of something on that edge. This thing gets painted, but I guess I can put a dimple in the center there too. Not that it really would make a difference. Just use a simple stub center. We don't need tons of really driving force because we're going to do a I'll do this just like I do most of my bowls anymore. I'll true up a face and then we will put a tenon on there. And then I'll grip it from this side. That way I have total access to the bottom. And just find it kind of makes life easier. I know it makes life easier if you're going to try and teach somebody wood turning. Okay, so that's way out of the way. We're touching there and there. And then we get out and about there. So we should move it that way a bit. This is not exactly, it's got a dip there. So it looks like there, to there, to there. One dip. So we'll move it a little bit more. Oh, you dirty bird. Well, it's best to come off of that center point too. But I got marks to go by there. So we'll just move it just a little bit, which really didn't look like it helped me much. Okay, there we touch. Away, 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 touch. Did I move it the wrong way? Touch there. Well away there. I think I did move it. And that fumbling around, actually moved it a little bit in the wrong direction. Or not. Touch. Well away. So this needs to come towards me. We're going to see and say right about there. That's close enough. Then it's locked in place. Full gouge. We'll get this screwed up a little bit and that whatnot before we head off to sharpening. I did do some turning yesterday, so most of this stuff should be relatively sharp. But first order of business is going to be flatten off this top surface, this side. As always, we start off nice and slow. I will not mess with the outside perimeter right now, just his face. Things pretty out of balance. Not a real big surprise. This would probably make a whole lot more sense, maybe to do double view. Yeah, sort of that way for now. Really could just worry more concerned about getting it flat out here since this is going to be the top. I changed. You have two views now. So that's flat. Good enough. Use the bigger chuck. Hand paint waving. Oh, okay. Goes to show I don't do much with people on live. Get rid of some material. So we have a place to put our chuck in there. nice sharp corner in there. Should do the trick. There's still a flat there. Shoot. Just a little bit. Always best because this is going to, like I say, this is going to be the top, so you need to know, you need something pretty flat out here so we know where we're going through. It should be flat. Of course, a lot of people would say this is a waste of a piece of wood because this is going to be this is a piece of walnut. The only thing I have that's that big in like a 2-inch material. This is going to be something my wife will paint, not a finished piece. It'll be painted. At least she'll paint the inside. We haven't discussed what she's doing on the outside of it yet. Maybe the outside she'll finish it as a piece of wood rather than painted. Might look interesting. Okay. So, this should widen out. I think that's as wide as we can go. Okay. And now we'll true up the outside. I think just for safety standpoint, we'll bring the live center back up just for a little bit. And we'll true up this outside. And then we'll go to the other side and get things nicely trued up. And that might be an interesting looking piece. We'll see. So that takes care of that. Touch the top edge because it's razor blade. Just has some little bit of dark streaks there. Oh, they're still a little flat. So let's take one more little itty bitty cut. Now we can come around this side. And I think I can taste it already. So I think we're going to turn the dust collector on, unless it's really too much of an obnoxious noise. It usually isn't. I mean, you know it's running, but it's usually not too super bad. Because walnut dust is not very good for you, as I learned a while back. But let's get this flattened out. Okay. So now we're flat. Doesn't matter out there. In here is where it matters. So this probably wants to sit on a pretty big, I would say a big foot, because it wants to be pretty flat. So we're going to use the big jaws. That should work, I think. So somewhere around about there. It's going to be the foot. So we can go out here to this corner. This is not going to have what I would like, normal kind of a bowl shape. It's going to be more of an abrupt curve. Just get rid of that corner. Kind of weird. It does have a weird vibration to it. Probably because there's still some sapwood in there. So there's going to be about how deep our foot's going to be. So her description of this in the picture she showed me looks like a pie plate. probably the center part of this is probably the place, good place for the scraper. Doesn't feel like there's a burr on there. There is. So above center, so that it's tilted down slightly. A little bit more out of the center. Ideally, we want that to be a bit of a concave in there. A lot of a concave. Better than too little. That's a little bit of a flat in there, which is okay. That'll be a little bit something of interest there. Even just a little bit of a curve. And as usual, we'll have to clean that up a little bit out here. Put spindle down. That should be that. Fuzzies. We're going to make one more teeny tiny little cut, get rid of that fuzzy line. Into that sharp edge. Should have gotten rid of that. Get rid of this little sharp corner. Not the sandpaper won't take care of that, but yes. No time like the present, we might as well sand it while we're here before we move. Would make more sense if we do it now than later. As usual, I like to sand in reverse. Slow the speed down a little bit. And the dust collection up, because now we got the nice fine dust. A lip on the outside where? Up here? You want a bead up here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Now that I started saying? Well, let me get my picture out here. Oh, I got it. I see it. Unfortunately, yes, I see it. Okay, we're not ready to sing then. Picture's worth 1,000 words, and you should always look at the picture first, I guess. So, let's call that somewhere up about there. We'll do that with a spindle gouge. Lean forward, not reverse. Higher. That high? We can always bring it down further. Something along the lines of that. Or should it actually have a bead there? Hmm. Bead. It would look better if it actually had a little bit of a bead. But I like the bead. The bead will make it decorative. No like? Makes it hard to tell. It's got some fuzzies on it for one. I think that'll give us what you're looking for, sort of. They'll give it a little transition point. Put it that way. Okay. That sort of didn't do me any favors, going the wrong way. A little shearing cut coming back the right way. You see little itty bitty fuzzy fibers. Cleaned up most of it, except the lucky sharp edge. Got a bump. Good. That's best gotten rid of with the scraper. Just a little bit nicer of a transition across there. There's that right, pretty much in tight to that bead. I think it'll work. Now we can sand, but now we made it more difficult to sand up here, but should be able to power sand some of it anyhow. Might be able to power sand it all. Might have to go to the smaller radius in there. We'll see. Looks like I might as well just sand the thing by hand. I can get in tight to my bead for one. Not totally worried about down there at the foot because I seem to not get this with that chuck. I've yet to get it in the right diameter so it doesn't leave a mark. So I'll probably have to go back at some point and take care of it. There's the razor blade, a little bit on the bead. Looks like I left some scratches there. That was from the 120 of that. That should be good. I need to look at that a little harder. There's that little bit of a soft spot. Oh, shoot. I'm about to go the other way once. Back up a grit. got some of it out. Not all. Oh, back to 150 or 180. Dust collection works so much better that way. That's 400. That's as far as we're going to go with that. Is this piece will get shellac and lacquer, so it's going to stand up some of that stuff, and you'll be able to I'll be able to hand sand that little bit off. Okay. To me, like there's an awful lot of radial scratches in there that it will show through. Let's try something else once. Use our rotary sander on it once. Get a fresh piece of sandpaper for that job. Might seem like a little excessive on some of this, but really the good time to get after this is right now. down here on this little rim. Just that little bit. I mean, there's a tiny little bit up there along that edge that I just can't seem to get to cooperate. So let's get down here one. We're going to still leave a little bit of a line in there. Like we're seeing without it not spinning a little bit. I got to work. I should probably use these inertia sanders more than what I do, but I like power. Just trying to think whether I don't think I'm going to put the shellac on it yet. I probably could, but I don't think we will. Left that a little big. It will leave a mark for sure, but it is what it is. And now, for sure, I'm going to sharpen. Might as well do them both. Sharpen the bowl gouge and the spindle gouge. Let's go to the grinder. That should be that. We'll go back, make sure we go back to the right screen. And this was supposed to be 10 inches. It is about 10 and 5/8, so she's getting a little extra bonus. I think the real part I might have to look, or she can look at for me, is I'm going to flatten this out in here. I think she wanted around 7 inches sort of flat. Probably can be more. Wouldn't see why it couldn't be. Looks like that has a bit of a wobble to it for some reason. Looks like it's tight. 8 for the flat part. All right. Yeah, it looks like it's just the rim out here that's kind of a little wonky. Okay, so probably would be better the thought would be to mark the center point, which is a little tiny dimple in there anyhow. And we'll turn the lathe off. And we'll come out here 4 inches. Actually, it looks like you can actually probably have more than 8 inches of flat. But we'll start with that. So there's our 8-inch mark. So we'll leave that there. And get rid of a little bit in here. We need some room to move out here. I don't think this really wants to have a. Oh, so you want a flat out here on the rim. Is that a big enough flat? I hope, because I can't put wood back. So that right now is about a half an inch wide rim. Okay. You want a quarter for what? You could just come down. That'd be easier. You can pull up a chair. I'd say, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Yeah, you can come down because I forgot to turn on that other camera. Nobody will be able to see you. Funny of me. So you're saying now you want to go down to a quarter of an inch out here for a flat? Is that what you're telling me? You're going to need a little bit more than a quarter. You got to watch because this curves in behind there. This is the difficult part for me is because I'm not used to making things that'll be flat down in this area. I think what I'll do is get it semi-flat. Wash it down to about a half an inch. Let me check. Oh, no, we're not down to a half an inch. We're down to a quarter of an inch. No wonder it started to make noise. Oh, shoot. Quarter of an inch down there. It still feels. Okay, that's all the ridge going, but it's giving me the sound that says that it's getting thinner and thinner as we go. Oh, not yet. About 3/16, quarter, that quarter. Now we want about 8 inches, you're saying, flat, which brings me way back out here. Yeah. Good thing there's more walnut up in the garage, because if this makes it, we'll be doing good. Okay. I can't guarantee you it's perfectly flat, but let's see. Nope. It's got a slight curve to the center. Will that hurt it? I'll try and take some more of it out. Let's try and take a little more out, I guess. Because the curve is out there, I think. You know what? It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. And it's probably as flat as it sort of appears that it's flat, but it's not. We're going to go lower. So now I assume I need to come back out here and blend that into that corner. That'll be the next problem. It's going to squeal like a pig. That works. How many inches do I have left? You mean how many inches of flat? I'm at about 8, and I call it about 8 1/4 flat. This area going across is the flatter section. It's not flat, not perfectly flat, but it's flat, sort of. I think it should work. Because when I measure this out here, it's getting quite thin. So let's give it a go with the sander. That's also going to show us how flat it is or isn't. And here, that's 120. Yeah. I'd say it's flatter than what I would have thought it would have been. Even though the ruler doesn't say that, the ruler says totally opposite. I'm assuming that's going to be flat enough for what you want. I don't know if I do. Let's try it once. Yeah. what I found he's going to do to get this curve in there, because it left all kind of chatter marks. Huh. Surprise, surprise, they weren't bad. It's not bad. And that out. Also just keep on going with the little one and do this little rim part, the third part. And then just that edge a little bit. So we'll go right through grits. That piece of 320 is about that. All sandpaper don't cut so well. Oh, shit. You got your two upper grits and didn't get the one I went after. Okay. So anyway, let's go back to inside, or the flat part. We've gotten the ridges out in there, so the rest is just get rid of the spackle. Let's go right after that edge. That is sort of already standard, but keep seeing a white line out there, and a white line usually means there's something there that you don't want. Definitely gave me a definite solid line down there where it's flat and where it's not. Not sure I overly like that, but I think that's the best we're going to do with that situation. This is the area you're going to turn black. in there. This is not. I think what we're going to do, got to get more paper towels. Get a big paper towel. Yeah, but you're not paying any attention. Anyway, grab a couple paper towels. Clear liquid shows you what it's going to look like when it's has some sort of a finish on it. I know it is. It's very boring. Boring to do it too, but it is what you got to do, unfortunately. So now we got all the dirt cleaned out. Um, Give me a second. I'll be right back. Just the flat area or the whole inside, even the curved part. Right up to the rim or the rim included? Oh, okay. Now that we can probably do. You can go get some gloves so I don't have black fingers. Got it. Including the rim. I was thinking brushing it on, but I could, if I tape the rim, painter's tape, almost too wide stuff. Probably be overkill to put a second piece down here, I think. Yeah. Probably didn't really need the rim either. What we're going to use, she normally paints this stuff on. I told her, I said, I have Indie ink, which is super black, and it's water-based, so her paint will stick to it. So we'll go down the path of airbrushing it on. This is why you wear gloves, though. No matter what you do, you always end up with this stuff on your fingers. So, airbrush, are you plugged in? Yep. Turn it on. Dust collector on, so I don't have a cloud. Nice and slow. Well, we're doing okay. This is what you call a wife project tonight. Like we got a little bit too much in there. That's probably where I'll get in trouble. Okay. So we're gonna have to give that a couple minute or two to dry. And then we'll try and give it another light coat. Ideally, I would like it to be smooth. I got carried away on the first coat, and it's kind of left some runs. Always the hard part of trying to get it to be even. Quarter of 8. You can see that shiny bit is the place that there's more on elsewhere. So make sure we're not running. It's just not drying in very fast. Yeah, it'll fling it. More centrifugal force pushes it to the outside. That's also another technique that you can use is to literally take and put little dots of paint in the middle and turn it on fast, and it'll fling it to the outside. And that coat there, I think I'll probably just take it off the chuck and sit it upright rather than it will dry a flat black. Like I say, it is water based, so it takes a fair amount of time for it to dry. If we go strictly back overhead, you see, I mean, it's very wet, very coal black. So it looks like there's some runs. I think there's a good point just to let it go, let it dry. Like I say, this stuff is a water-based product, so it does take a fair amount of time to dry. And probably once it dries, so like tomorrow or something, I'll probably have to go back and give it just a real light sanding maybe, because it'll probably stand up some of the grain. But then she'll paint her or dots or whatever it is on the inside of that. It is definitely the indie ink there. I don't use it as much as I should or could. Um, it is very black. I mean, this is true, sort of a true black. So, and we can put the rest of it back in the jar. Didn't, didn't use as much as I thought I would. This bottle of indie ink is very old, but I learned that in the one class that I took in Colorado the other year, the young lad pulled some of this out and we got on the discussion. He's like, it is water based. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that, but I could really never researched or whatever. He said, buy the biggest bottle you can buy because it never goes bad. He said it's just basically water and indie ink in there. And he says if it gets too thick for you, add a little bit more water to it. And I'm like, oh, so I guess that was one of them deals where I guess it was kind of worth the little bit of the price of admission, so to speak. So if it's water based, that means it's water cleanup, which is nicer. That makes life a little bit easier. A little bit in there and run it, spray it through the brush, and should be good. And like I said, messy, messy stuff. Any of that stuff is messy. It's all over your finger. And there again, it is an indie ink. If you didn't have gloves on, that black would take quite some time to wear off. So I think we're done with the indie ink. I can get rid of my gloves. Let's sit this out of the road. I think that's pretty much going to call it a night for me. I'm going to go get you anybody that was here last week. Show you the ice cream scoop. Because this sort of scoop sort of got the best of me yesterday. Had a little bit of time to come down here and do some work, so it was still on the lathe. So yes, any of the dyes. The India ink's probably worse yet. So if you were here last week with the ice cream scoop handle that was blue, there's what it looks like finished up. I left it sat here from Saturday till yesterday, so 6 days. All I did when I come back down yesterday is wanted to lighten some of the lighter areas up a little bit. A little bit of 800 grit sandpaper, sand with the grain, and lightened it up a little bit, and that's got its finish on it, and has been buffed. It's ready to put into use. So it did come out looking pretty neat. The other one was a couple of weeks. Managed to finish both those pieces up. And there's actually was another piece that y'all didn't see, but so other than that, I think that's going to be a wrap for me tonight. It's almost 8 o'clock. Yeah, so well, I won't. There'll be no stream next Saturday night because I have a class that I'll be teaching on Saturday. So 2 weeks. I have two more of those ice cream scoop handles to do. Both the same type of wood. Both will be the nice curly stuff. So we will play around some more with the dies. But for me tonight, we need to get out of here. Well, like I say, 2 weeks, typical time, all right, around 6 o'clock for me. So, yep, don't like turning walnut. Walnut doesn't agree with me. That's why if you go back and watch the recording, the dust collector was running the entire time. The big dust hose is right there trying to suck as much of the dust away that I possibly can. Um, if I wasn't doing it on stream, and I probably shouldn't have been doing it on stream, I would actually wear a dust. That's one of the woods that I would definitely would wear a dust mask with. Um, as I learned a while back, I was doing some other work, some more like furniture type work with some walnut, and eyes got bloodshot and everything else. And the one guy that I work with over at Woodcraft said, "Well, you know that walnut dust is toxic in the aspect that it will raise your blood pressure." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's interesting to know. Never heard of that one. I know that there's plenty of toxicity in different types of wood, but yes, it. So, did I do? Did something. Shouldn't mess with the keyboard while you're doing things." Oh well, like I say, it'll be 2 weeks till we're back, but you all have a wonderful rest of the evening and a good week. And we will see you back in 2 weeks.